reasons. I mean, like, this video might have gone too long. If it has, actually, we'll call it there. Call it a day for this one because this video's probably gone too long anyway. I think 10 minutes is the maximum for YouTube. So again, if we can get a little bit more on, this is really what we're looking at. This is just our measurement. So just a couple of things. You can zoom in with the mouse scroll wheel, and you can zoom obviously right out. Now the further out you zoom, you know, the prettier the graph's going to look, the smoother it's going to look. But actually, the closer in you get, you realise this is what we're hearing. You know, massive variations of 10, 12, 15, 20 decibels. Now, if you listen to something, well, just if you've got a digital volume control, listen to something 20 decibels louder than you know, listen to something, turn the volume up 20 decibels. The difference is absolutely huge, and you know, this is the variations. This is how much damage the room interactions is causing. Like, it's monstrous, absolutely monstrous. As you can see here, look, you know, huge cancellation in bass. That looks like a huge peak in bass, but I actually want that. I'll do that in another video. And then you've got this, you know, not too bad, but you've got a big dip there, a big hole there, big peaks here. You know, you look at that and you think, Christ, how can you possibly listen to that? It's terrible. And trust me, this is a decent room. This is a room with a lot of treatment, with, you know, a lot of effort and stuff put into it. It really is. I think the reason we can listen to it is if you look at the graph. I mean, there's an option for psychoacoustics. Sorry, I was writing that down. That's more the reality of what we're hearing. So it actually doesn't sound as bad as it initially looks. Is that the right one? Yeah, that was the right one. So psychoacoustically, you know, that's more along the lines of what we're hearing. So technically, if we actually really want to target a flat frequency response, I'm miles away. I am country miles away from that. But actually achieving that as a goal is extremely difficult. Hence the reason why people do use you know, DSP systems and stuff. Obviously they're going to have their strengths and weaknesses, but you can see why, because the OCD in them would think, right, you know, we've got a huge hole here. We've got, you know, possibly 20 decibels difference between 400 hertz mid-range, like upper mid-range, and maybe 200 hertz lower mid-range. So how can I possibly listen to a vocal with a 20 decibels difference in it? When you make them right, don't you? Think, well, how can I possibly listen to it like that? Well, it's kind of the character. It's the character of sound you get used to when you're listening in your listening room. And I would think that people with no acoustic treatment in their rooms probably filter out some of this, some of the badness. You filter it out, but you just become accustomed to hearing sound in your room with this much actual damage to it, this much actual variation. But damage is probably the right word. I mean, when speakers are measured, they're measured anechoically, and you get a completely flat frequency response. Now, when you actually put them in your room and you measure, you think, wow, look at that compared to, I mean, this blue line's flat. Actually, look at what you're getting. You're getting huge variations, massive variations. So the room's damage is absolutely catastrophic, and you know, hence why you can spend £50,000, £100,000, you know, £200,000. You put it in a room, and this is what happens. This is actually the sound that you get. So I'm not saying it's certainly not worth spending the money on the system. Of course it is. You know, that's essential. But this is an area we really should be paying attention to more than the system, because look at the damage. It's absolutely enormous. So yeah, hopefully this will be, you know, short enough to be in a video, and I'll make another one on some of the other options and things we want to look at now. Lovely. Cheers.